I'm Robert Focke, a preventive lawyer. I want you to remember my website, which is preventivelawyer.com. It contains information and tools that you'll be able to use in your life to prevent problems and to protect yourself. When I was a young man, I developed a fascination for boxing and actually became an amateur boxer, fighting for the last team that Texas A&M had, fighting in the Golden Gloves, when I decided to go to law school. I'm holding a boxing glove in my hand that has a clock in it. And by way of information, one of the fundamentals we were taught by Coach Seegers at A&M was to protect yourself at all times. So these gloves are not just used for offense, to hit somebody, but they're used to keep people from hitting me. They give me some method of control together with the skills that I learned as an amateur boxer to protect myself. And if you notice a clock, that represents something that's very significant in your life and my life. We all have clocks in our lives. It's sort of symbolic to me that it's in a boxing glove. As you know, all fights have a duration and a time, whether it's an amateur fight for 2 minutes, 5 rounds, or 3 minutes for a professional fight for 15 or 10 or 12, there's a time involved. Well, we all have time in our lives, and we have time that's going to run out for us. And in that process, we're also perhaps going to have to pay taxes. So the joke about there's only 2 things in life that are certain, one of paying taxes and one of that we're going to die, are probably pretty accurate. And what I want to do for you is give you the tools that I've learned as a lawyer through almost 40 years of experience, that you can be your own preventive lawyer. And it's similar to the tools that my boxing coaches gave me. No one starts out, even if they think they're a good fighter, being a boxer. Those are skills that you acquire and that you have to practice and that you're taught. And I can teach you and provide you with information that will protect you and your family. Now, I know a lot of you doing that now. You have insurance for your car, you have insurance for illness, you have life insurance, you're studying with your children, you're doing any number of things. Unfortunately, a large number of people are not doing anything about their future, the inevitable, the taxes, and the dying. So I want to talk about the dying and the process that gets us there, which is illness. Now, as an attorney, I've seen people do things every possible way, from implementing all the resources and tools that are available to control their lives as time runs out, to doing nothing and letting the state and other people do that. Once I was in a church and heard a sermon where the minister had everybody look at their neighbor's forehead and asked everybody to look at the number on the forehead. And of course, nobody had a number on their forehead. And so after a pause, he said, well, there's a number there, but it's invisible. And he went on to talk about something that I'm trying to talk about too, is that we have a certain number of days or months or years left in our lives, and we don't know what they're going to be. A lot of us assume we're going to live to be old, and that doesn't always happen. So what I want to provide you is not only the tools that can minimize your passing, but can make it easier on your family. You can become your own preventive lawyer. Now, I don't mean go to law school. I want you to take advantage of some tools that I can provide you, that you not only have an offense, but you have a defense, and that you can protect yourself at all times. We're talking about tools to deal with your dying, tools to deal with your assets after you die. You certainly do a lot of planning on a daily basis on taking care of your house and your family, food, clothing, and shelter. But do you have a will? Do you have a power of attorney? Do you have your health care documents? These are inevitable situations that you're going to need something, and if you don't have it, those tools are going to be provided by the other side. And I'm talking about other lawyers, creditors, the court system. And I can show you how your hand can carry on your wishes even after you die, and how you can be remembered as somebody that took care of their family more than just financially. The grieving process of death is an awesome process. And it's a process that should not be complicated by having to make decisions that people don't have to make. So you have, and I will give you the tools where you can help them make decisions or make those decisions for them. Whether it's healthcare decisions and you're still alive, or it's decisions about your passing. And certainly, when we're gone, our property is not going to stay and be static. It's going to pass somewhere. And I have the opportunity and the right to determine where that goes, and I have the opportunity and the right to do it at a minimum of effort to expense and delays to my family. I know there's certain people that say, well, when I die, I'm dead and I don't care. And I would hope that you're not one of those, because in reality, there are a lot of people that are going to be impacted by my death, and not just on the property issues. So the more guidelines that I can provide them in order to deal with my illness and my death and the passage of the property, and the more protection. There are a lot of ways to do things, and some are good, and some are great, and some are super great. And I want to show you all three. I want to show you how you can preserve and protect your property from the courts and attorneys and creditors. Please be aware that when you pass on, everybody's going to have their hand out to get paid. And they can do that, but I want to be sure your family gets paid and taken care of first. So I want to share these tools with you. A quick analogy is, you know, I've got a horse in the barn. Someday I know that door is going to open and he's going to gallop out of there, and I don't know where he's going to go unless I provide some direction for him, you know, and have somebody waiting outside the door to take him somewhere. And certainly if he goes out of the door early and I'm still alive, it's going to be an effort to get him back. So what I'm telling you is I can give you the tools, the direction, where you can either keep the horse from getting out of the barn, or when he does, make it easier to put him back in, or when he does, at least be sure he goes in the direction you want him to go. And I'm talking about your family.